how to set up a buyer transaction in Total Brokerage. This is again one of those things where, like, the more work you do up front, the easier it's going to be for you further on as you move through the system. So here, if you open up at your dashboard, click on Transactions, View Transactions. Once you get to, oh, I just screwed that up. Once you get to your list of transactions here, come on. Then you'll hit Actions and Create Transaction. I'm going to take you to this little questionnaire for the buyers. All right, so who do you represent? Buyer, home or land, home buyer, and then you want to choose the residential property buyer checklist. Hit Create Transaction. Wait for it to create. Apparently it takes the longest amount of time to do this whenever I'm doing these videos. Okay, so once you're here, you want to change the name. I'm going to call this Training Transaction 5 because I have too many of these things. Okay, you see that it's buyer, everything's cool. Make sure you hit save after you change the name. Okay, next, if you click Documents, you'll see that the documents you need to start representing your buyer are all here, and your first contract that you would be doing if you were writing an offer. All these things are here in the documents, ready to be pre-filled and sent. So your next step would be to click on the People tab, go down, and you're going to assign your buyers. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can just choose your buyer, and I have my fake buyers here, right? We save them there. Or let's say that you haven't put your buyer in the CRM yet, so we're going to call, this person Joe Schmo, right? You click Add Joe Schmo, put his email address in, right, as, Joe at, doesn't really matter, right? But if you do this from this way and hit Save and Assign, this will add this Joe Schmo to your CRM, right? We got buyer 1 and buyer 2 there. Those people are added. This tab auto saves. If you're writing an offer right away, what you can do here is just pop in the MLS number, and it'll auto-populate the address for you. If not, just go ahead and put the counties that you're working in. You can put all, or, Salt Lake, comma, Utah, comma, Davis, right? Hit save. If you click the Financial tab, you'll see that you've got your buyer agent commission. Put that at 3. If you're writing an offer, you can go ahead and put some of this stuff in, like your earnest money deposit of $4,000, that sort of a thing, if you're writing the offer at the same time. Hit save. And as with all the other tabs, skip the commission tabs and the earnest money tab. And then if you're writing an offer again, in the calendar here, you can put in all the dates that'll go into the contract, right? So if we're going to do the offer reference date, that's today's date, and hit save. Okay. And then we do all the different deadlines there. Ignore the closing date because that's something I use when everything is done. And once you've done that, let's actually just go ahead and put all of these dates in. It won't matter what the dates are, but let's just set some dates in here so you can see how the contract fills out. That'll be enough of those. So we go back to documents. Actually, let's do property too. And we'll do, let's see if that'll grab info from this little house at Eagle Mountain. It may not, because this is an old listing. Let's find out. And yet again, this always takes the longest one. All right, there we go. So we've got an address, hit save. All right, so we go into documents, there's a couple of things you see. First, let's look at the buyer broker agreement. Okay, let it load. And you'll see, and this is something that has bothered some people. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit. When you first open it, it just says transaction owner, buyer 1, buyer 2, transaction owner, right? You have to hit this little preview button, and then everything that auto-populates will show up, right? We've got our 3%. You just have to put in the expiration date. Make sure you remember that this is an expiration date, not an effective date. So if we'll call it the 31st day of November 2021, right? But you basically can just scroll right through each of these, and you'll see it says buyer, buyer, and then buyer signature date. All of these are already assigned to whoever the buyer is in the file. So whoever buyer one is, they're buyer one. And it doesn't change their name on the tag the way you might be used to in some other systems. But if it says buyer there, it's assigned to whoever is assigned that role inside the transaction. Right? So go ahead and hit save. Let's just jump back out and we'll look really quick at the purchase contract so you can see which parts of that automatically populate. So we open up the purchase contract. All right. So again, you see here, we hit preview and we can see what's already filled out. Our earnest money's there, our address is there. We just have to kind of fill out some of this information, the seller's name. You know, we've got, if you put the stuff in the financials, all of this will fill in. So, you know, your new loan, your rest of your down payment, your purchase price, all of that will automatically fill in, you know. So then you just double click to check the different tabs you need to check, you know. Go with on recording, right? And just kind of move through the contract as you normally would. And there's a whole other video about filling out the contract. Anyhow, so you can see like that's how you set up a buyer file. And then once that's in there, your buyers are in there, and all you got to go in if you're writing multiple offers, just go in and change the address and change the property information, change the financials in the tabs, change the dates in the tabs, and it'll all auto-populate. And then you can just continue to write those offers as necessary. And that, you guys, is pretty much it. Like that's how to do a buyer transaction. Again, there's other videos on how to fill out the purchase contract and other like various smaller parts, but that's kind of the meat of this one. So we'll see you next time.